convincing to the interviewer that this candidate is ready. She has well read, she knows what the market is about, she is following the industry trends, she's following my company, right? Research about the company. What has the company done in the last 3, 4, 5 years? What direction is it taking? Along with that, I think it is very important to ask questions.
Four years and after passing about 165 examinations, you would think fresh graduates would be ready to join the corporate world. Students certainly think they are, but the companies hiring them disagree. Many graduates don't realize how ill prepared they are for the corporate world. According to the survey from the National Association of Colleges and Employers, the biggest gap between the two groups observation centered on work ethics and communication skills, where 89.4% and 79.4% of students rated them proficient respectively, but only about 40% of the employers agreed in both cases. Employers were not totally unfair and biased in their rating, though. Their rating matches with the students' proficiency and rating on the digital technology and teamwork. The problem is that students and the employers have different ideas of career readiness for a specific skill set. Fresh graduates may feel confident in their communication skills because they connect well with fellow students and professors. Texting and chatting with a lot of emojis may have worked on campus, but workplace communications are different. Their essay writing skills may have gotten them A+, but it's not a guarantee that they will be as efficient when it comes to writing work, email, and reports. Hello and welcome to the Honest Talk by Freak Folks. I'm Harsh Pandey. For this particular session, we have with us very special guest today, Ms. Shikha Gupta ma'am. She's a HR with 18 years of rich experience and diverse work experience in the areas of talent acquisition, HR generalist, learning and development, organizational development, employee engagement, and HR business partners function. She is currently working as a HR talent acquisition at Winwire Technologies, Bangalore. Prior to that, she has been a part of both product and IT services organizations like Wipro, OnMobile, Global Limited, Tally India, Oracle, and IIT, where she has been strategically involved in their growth and success while leading different HR functions across geographies. So first of all, ma'am, I welcome you to in this session. Thank you so much for joining and agreeing to share your thoughts with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Harsh, for having me at Honest Talks. I think you guys are doing some amazing work and all the best for your future endeavors as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That's actually our pleasure too. So moving to the topic of today's session, which we have chosen is campus to corporate. Ma'am, my very first kind of a request to you is please explain to our viewers how things change when one individual moves from campus to corporate.
I mean, it's a sea change, right? So for any student, right, his college life, his school life, his college life, his B school life, or his engineering college life comes to an end, right? And that's when he takes the first step into the corporate world, right? It's a sea change, right? When you're a student, you behave in a particular manner, right? The skill sets required to succeed as a student are very different from skill sets required to succeed in corporate, right? A lot of skills, communication, grooming, life skills, interpersonal skills. Yeah, so there are different kinds of skills that are required, right? For starting a corporate journey, for becoming successful in your corporate stint, right? From the life of a student, of a B school graduate or an IT engineer, right? You move to a corporate world where you make those first steps. This is your very first job, right? Your first onboarding, your first interviewing experience, first onboarding, right? First month, first buddy, first manager, right? And then at the end of 30 days, your first paycheck, that feeling of first salary that you get. I think that's amazing. It's a complete transformation right? Those days of, what do you say, fun, musty, and all of that, college life stopped, and then it's business now. It's serious. You're viewed as a corporate person, or as a professional, as somebody who's employed. It's a sea change. It's like, almost starting a new chapter in your life, right? So like when you move from your, I don't know, you finish school, right, 12th standard, and you enter graduation. That's another chapter. Once you finish your grad or your post grad, you enter the corporate world. That's a new chapter in life. And skill sets required at every stage are very different, right? I'm not sure if that answers your question, but I can go much in detail if you would like.
I think you have actually explained what I have asked. Now my next question to you is, what, as you have already told, college is a time where most students spend a lot of a time looking at the smaller picture and all about ignoring what's happening outside. Preparing for the world of work requires students to change the way they see things. There's no clearly definition lines for the success in the outside world. Even landing a job doesn't have any particular clear cut rules. While college teaches a lot of the theoretical knowledge that graduates may need, it doesn't explain some specific skills that an HR department may be looking for. Now, may I make you request to share with us some of your past experience where you have visited the campuses and what you have observed? What are the mistakes generally students commit while go through the while giving interviews and passing through the all complete recruitment process?
Okay, now there are various stages, right? When you do a campus recruitment, you start with group discussions. So there are a lot of mistakes candidates make at that stage. Then people who get selected in the group discussion move to technical interviews and so on and so forth, make mistakes. Let me maybe talk about GDs first, group discussions, right? That's when you, yeah. So every GD in any typical campus has a batch of 12 to 15 students, right? And the topic of GD is given on the spot, right there. You're not given the topic beforehand, and you're given about those 2, 3, 4 minutes to think about it. I will tell you from my experience, right, across all these organizations, what we look for, or what a tech panel will look for, or an interviewer will look for, or an HR person will look for. See, a couple of things. See, if I'm a candidate, I think if I speak more, if I speak good English, if I use fancy terminology, if I dominate, I will be a select. That's not true. Respecting each and every person's opinion, point of view, giving everybody a fair chance to speak, I think those qualities are required. A group discussion has to be a healthy discussion and should not turn into a fish market discussion, right? Where people are arguing, cross-talking, over-talking, cutting each other off, right? Becoming very aggressive, becoming very hostile, right? So somebody who brings in that discipline, that proper flow of the discussion, right, probably begins the discussion. He becomes the leader. Towards the end, summarizes the discussion. Those are the two start and end points. And during the discussion, right, give time, give space to people to voice out their thoughts. And whatever content you are speaking, right, back it up with some data, some statistics, some real life examples, some case studies, which make it more powerful, right? Whichever topic you're talking on, you have to bring in some weightage to what you're saying, rather than speaking plain simple English. I think second thing, what we look for, or the candidate who wins over, is presenting my point of view. Every topic has your point of view and my point of view could differ on campus to corporate, right? Now there is a lot of stuff available on the internet, people talking different things about different topics. I don't think so. We as recruiters are interested in listening what Bill Gates had to say and what Steve Jobs had to say, or what somebody had to say. What is your individual flavor, point of view on that topic? What is it that you believe? What is it that you think? I think that is important. And if you couple it with data and statistics, I think that makes it. So we would pick up people who would, in exhibit those qualities, right? In terms of data, originality, leadership, team player, collaborative kind of an approach in group discussion. I think those are the people who kind of get picked. Now, once you are done with the group discussion, you're selected for a PI, personal interview or technical interview. Now, even there, right? I mean, you have to present who you are. There are a lot of candidates, Harsh, who just oversell, over exaggerate, say a lot of things, right? Just because they want to make it, they want to get an offer, they want to get placed. Be real, be genuine. I think that is what is most important, right? You have to, and again, just like the GD, whatever you are talking on, say I'm a sales or a business development enthusiast, right? And I'm applying for a role with Amazon or some other company, whichever company. Read about your subject matter expertise, see what's happening, what are the current trends, what is the industry practice. If you back up your data, whatever you're speaking, right, with some industry knowledge, it helps. I think that is important. Second thing, definitely talk about your achievements, right? Scholastic achievements and achievements in your extracurricular activities, right? Some initiatives that you did, which where you were a team player or where you were a leader, which exhibited your leadership skills, those are important. Talk about the wins in your project work, right? Probably what were the challenges, how did you solve the problem, what approach did you pick up to solve challenges in your project, right? As a fresher, all that you have to convince the interviewer is with your entire school life, college life, initiatives, projects, internship, right? Plus, whatever reading you are doing about the industry, about the market, that. Another thing, I would advise all the campus folks, right, not to, yes, there is a limit of, number of companies you can apply to.
Right.
So think very carefully. What are those 2, 3 companies you want to apply for? Don't apply for anything and everything, right? A dream job, a dream role where you think you are the best fit, or you could do this the best, you have the potential, you have the capability. That's very important, right? It is convincing to the interviewer that this candidate is ready. She has well read, she knows what the market is about, she's following the industry trends, she's following my company, right? Research about the company. What has the company done in the last 3, 4, 5 years? What direction is it taking? Along with that, I think it is very important to ask questions, right? What is the growth path? What is the career growth path, right, associated with this role, right? How can I, move across roles or move up the ladder? What is the company's plan in the next, say, 2 odd years, 2 to 3 years, right? It shows your interest level. It shows your commitment. Those things are very important. I mean, just getting an offer is not important. Do what makes sense to you, right? And once you get the offer, you pick up the offer, you happen to join, then in that case, you're doing 100% justice to the role, right? Because you know it so well, you've studied hard for it, you know what's happening in the industry, and you're ready. I think that's important according to recruiters. Yeah.
Indeed, ma'am. I think actually you have explained this very carefully, and I'm sure those who are watching this session and those who need it, they got this and will be helpful for them as well. And my next question to you is, what we have seen is, unfortunately, rapid change in technology have made it difficult for the educational institution to keep pace with in-demand skills. The burden to close the career readiness skill gap falls on everyone. In your opinion, what are the kind of skills universities need to focus to prepare students for the ever-changing workplace instead of concentrating the syllabus on technical aspects of such subjects?
Very good. Like I said in the very beginning, right? A lot of life skills are required. Ask me what I studied 15 years back. How much of that am I using today in my work, right? I've studied HR, and I'm sure all the campus folks have their area of specialization, whether it's marketing, finance, operations, HR, so on and so forth. Books actually give you that foundation, right, of the subject matter expertise, right? what is HR all about? Say, for example, what is finance all about? What is sales all about? Right? It gives you those basic definitions, basic structure, basic foundation skills. What is required in today's world, and I think a lot of institutes, a lot of B schools especially, that's why they have this model of calling guest lecturers, right?
Yes.
Calling people from the corporate world
Right.
to do some sessions for the students, right? So these sessions are very important because they teach you as to what kind of skills are required on the job, right? Say, for example, if you are assigned to a particular project which has 10 people, what kind of leadership, sort of, and what kind of team player skills, collaboration skills are required to execute the project successfully, right? It's a project which has 3 months of duration. How do you go from one sprint to the other? How do you manage the customer, right? Client facing skills are very important, right? And during this process, if there is a change in the demand given by the customer, right, how do you upskill yourself, right? How do you, from one version of, I don't know, .NET Angular, how do you move or learn to the other version of .NET Angular, 2 to 4, 4 to 7, and so on and so forth, right? So upskilling yourself, cross-skilling yourself, how to manage the customer, right? Project management skills. I'm just taking project management as an example. All these are very important, right? In today's time, right? Yeah.
Indeed, ma'am. Actually, as you have very rightly mentioned, actually the business world is changing dramatically over the last few decades. And now the skills which we have learned past 25 years are not very much relevant in today's era. And now we now live in a connected society where change can be fast-paced, constant, and unpredictable. Rapid advance in the technology have created an environment where the internet, smartphones, and social media are ubiquitous, and the 2008 global financial crisis and 2020 pandemic has increased the sense of turbulence, danger, and unpredictability in the certain areas. How do you see the future of jobs in the corporate world in the next 10 years?
Oh, wow. That's a brilliant question. Trust me, what we've gone through in the last 20 months, thanks to the pandemic, COVID, nobody had predicted that, right? Bunch of
Exactly.
layoffs and projects getting stalled, customers pulling back business, so many talented people. And it's not about, people who were poor performers were let go and so on and so forth. Companies went to, because the customers pulled back businesses, right? Business slowed down, right? Everybody became cautious. Hiring went on hold. There was no talent, right? Most of the companies were not hiring, right? So future of jobs, see, future is unpredictable.
Okay.
That's first thing.
Correct.
You never know what's going to happen in 2022, 2023.
Correct. You are correct. Yes.
Back to your previous question, right? Certain skills that will always help no matter what happens in the future, right? Adaptability, flexibility, ability to upskill, ability to cross skill, ability to stay relevant in the market and not become redundant. Staying relevant in the market is very, very important. And the definition of job has changed, Harsh, since the pandemic has happened.
Yes.
Maybe probably bulk of jobs were only, say, corporate jobs, right? But thanks to pandemic, I have seen so many entrepreneurs, solopreneurs,
Exactly.
passionpreneurs emerge. So many life coaches, gig economy, the whole concept of gig economy,
correct.
right? The students, the millennials, the women, right? Working across time zones, working across different projects as per their flexibility. You don't need a full-time job. These are highly paid jobs, interventions, assignments, project model. So the future of jobs is anything and everything, right? It could be freelancing, consulting, it could be gig workers, it could be full-time professionals like us. And it's going to be hybrid. That's what it looks like, right? Partially from home, partially from office, depending on what the organization needs. It's going to be pure play a hybrid model, but the definition of job has changed. And certain skills, staying relevant in the market, not becoming redundant. And how do you stay relevant? You have to keep yourself updated, right? What's happening in the industry? what kind of certification programs you would want to do, what kind of knowledge you want to acquire, right? Even if you don't have a job, say there were so many layoffs that happened. My single advice to people was, "Jo ho gaya, so ho gaya."
Right.
Let it be. Past is past, right? You cannot change the past. What you have to look at is, what do you do in the present? And whatever you do in your present will make your future. So, how do you utilize the next 1, 2, 3, 4 months that you're not working in such a productive manner that you end up with a job which gives you, I don't know, a lot of satisfaction, good career growth, good opportunities. So, the only way to stay relevant and not become redundant is to keep learning, keep growing, keep networking,
Yes.
right? You know, my connect with Harsh could land me up into a new opportunity. You don't know. You just
Right.
need one person or one connection or just one person to change your life. So keep networking, keep talking. But the future of jobs is going to be very hybrid, and the different types of jobs that have emerged in the COVID are here to stay.
Indeed.
Right? These are going to be there for the next few years. That's how I would sum it.
I think this was really a very wonderful answer from your side, and you have stressed on the part of a networking, which I think we all need to actually learn in this era. I know my next question to you is, as you have mentioned, that a big opportunity for India lies in creating a competent and trained manpower. Of particular concern has been the skilling of the youth, which constitute nearly 68% of the country's total population. And what are your recommendations to foster skilling and reskilling of the youth?
See, now in COVID, people have started talking a lot about skilling, reskilling,
Yes.
learning, unlearning, and so on and so forth, right? But then I think learning, unlearning, skilling, reskilling, upskilling was always there.
Yes.
It's just that the focus has changed today. And it is very, very important. Like you said, right? Digitalization, transformation, right? The world is moving at a very fast pace. The HR concepts, probably, which I studied 15 years back, right? Maybe the basics are same, but the way you implement these concepts, or the way we have been implementing these concepts, it has ever been evolving, right? You don't say, for example, employee engagement. We were in office, we used to do in-person activities, I don't know, cafeteria, blah, 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 conference rooms and all that. Now, the whole definition of doing employee engagement has changed. Everything has become virtual. So you're thinking of new ways to how to engage employees. You're doing contests, you're doing quiz competitions, you're doing different things, right? So it is very important to upskill, reskill, and unlearn and learn, right? Before COVID happened, nobody knew. We didn't even think. I mean, can you imagine all of us on a monthly basis or whatever, monthly basis, doing a virtual cake cutting because it was some employee's birthday, and you don't even get to eat that cake. That's the saddest part, because it's a virtual cake. But nobody thought that we could actually, learning and development was even hybrid then. Certain programs were conducted through webinars versus certain programs were conducted through seminars, classroom training, and all that. But most of the HR functions, project teams, delivery teams, everybody is working from home, and they're all standing up to the occasion and satisfying the customer deadlines, and the customer continues to bill, right? So everybody has learned these skills, right? Adaptability is one skill, flexibility is another skill, how to work from home, how to operate from home is probably another skill, right? Coping up with such scenario. Beyond that, obviously, because the technology guys, in fact, in my organization, and I keep talking to a lot of folks in my network, right? People are opting for, upskilling programs, reskilling programs, willing to do multi-technology role, willing to wear multiple hats, willing to work on multiple projects, right? And that way, right, you're actually creating more opportunities for people within your organization, right? Rather than hiring new talent from the market, right? So IJPs, right, internal job postings, right, are being fulfilled in a great manner. And I think upskilling is one of the ways, right? People go for programs, uh, in-house certifications or online certifications, external stuff, right? Apply for the new role, crack that interview, move there. So it's actually creating more opportunities for the existing employee. Yeah,
Indeed, ma'am.
that's how I would.
No, actually, you are right. And I think you have actually very explained very clearly. And I'm sure the viewers, those who are watching this session, they are also kind to find us insightful. And I can say, ma'am, there's a lot more to learn from you. But today, I don't want to take too much of your time. So, moving to my last question of this session, or rather, it's a kind of a advice. I'm just taking advice because we all know that youth is a time of enormous energy. A lot of youth is in confused state of mind. The youth of today's generation need clarity and balance. They have become the victim of the social media information overload. Everywhere there is a compulsion. They are addicted to smoking, alcohol, drugs, and gruesome video materials. There's been substance abuse like never before. At last, what are these some advice would you like to give to such youth just to remind them of their enormous energies, how to balance them and lead their life well?
Wow, now this is something very amazing. And we've been seeing Aryan Khan getting caught in the
Right.
drugs case, right? That's on for the last 5 days. It is it is very painful, Harsh, to to see things like these, right? As far as I am concerned, and I'm also connected with a lot of education institutes, I have always believed that the youth are the future of our country.
Right.
And look where the future is going, to the prison, to drugs, to alcoholism, to smoking. I think a lot of people, I mean, if I have to take COVID as a reference point, yes, there are so many people who've lost their jobs, but job is just a part of your life. It
Right.
is not your entire life. Like I just said, what has happened has happened. You have to, what do you say? Get up, dress up, and show up again. Yeah.
Exactly.
Life is a battle, life is a struggle. If the heart says shows a straight line, which means you're dead. Even the heartbeat, if it goes up and down, which means you're alive and you're kicking, right? So life is like that, right? And I'm not preaching. It can happen to anybody. It has happened to a lot of people in my network as well. 15 years, 18 years, 20 years have lost their jobs. But you don't get disappointed and get into alcoholism or get into all these vices that are in and around. It's very easy to run away from the problem. It is very easy to go commit suicide. It's very easy to do such things. The real metal lies in the fact that you fall down 7 times, you get up 8. You fall down 10 times, you get up 11. So my message to the youth is, you are the future of our country. We are going to leave a great legacy behind, right? You have to take it forward. You have to do something meaningful with your life, right? Reach out to people who are willing to. LinkedIn is a very powerful tool.
Right.
So is Facebook, right? Depends on where you have more contacts. Reach out to your power of network, ask for help, try to do something meaningful with your life rather than indulging in alcohol, drugs, and smoking. Right. It is painful not only for you, but it is painful for the people in your family who have to deal with this. Those parents who have given you birth, who have given you education, deserve a happy, peaceful life. It is so painful for a parent to see an alcoholic son or to see an alcoholic daughter or whatever it is, right? Social media again is an addiction, right? There is so much of information available, but you have to apply your mind to see what you want to pick up and what you want to leave behind, right? There's plethora of information, right? But take that judgment as to what you want to implement in your life, what works for you. So what works for Harsh may not work for Shikha. What works for Shikha may not work for a third person. Everybody's situation, life, circumstances are different. Yes. Stop living a life of comparison. And that's the problem with the youth. मेरा बैचमेट इतना अच्छा नौकरी में है, मेरा बैचमेट को फॉरेन असाइनमेंट मिला है, मेरा God, everybody, like I said, yes, could be your batchmate, but everybody's opportunities, circumstances, environment is different, right? Stop living a life of comparison. That's the biggest problem with the youth today. Oh, he's there. Oh, she's there. She has got promoted. I'm still here. No, life is not a race. life is a journey.
Yes.
Yeah, जब आपका टाइम आएगा आपका भी प्रमोशन होगा,
Right.
आपका टाइम आएगा आपका भी फॉरेन असाइनमेंट मिलेगा, आपका टाइम आएगा आपको भी अच्छी लड़की मिलेगी, राइट? ओ ही इज मैरिड, ही ऑलरेडी हैज किड्स, मेरी शादी भी नहीं हुआ है एंड ऑल दैट. So youth today, you should not live a life of comparison, not indulge into these vices, right? Live your life meaningfully, do things that make your family proud, your parents proud at the end of the day, your
Right.
society proud, country proud,
Right.
We all are the future of our country, and the future has to be bright and beautiful, and it's thanks to people like you, Harsh, and a lot of people, other people like you, who have to take the country forward, who have to take the nation forward.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. These all are very inspiring words from you. And thank you so much for joining on our show. We look forward to conduct more such sessions with you in future. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Absolutely, it was pleasure. I think you've asked me questions which are very close to my heart. I spent a good 10, 12 years doing a lot of campus hiring, and I love the millennial generation. I love talking to them, and whatever little I can do to make a difference in your life or anybody's life, please feel free to connect with me.
Sure,
I'll
definitely.
be more than happy to assist.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That's really kind of you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Harsh. Thank you.
And on the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside, I'm alone.